day and the plans you had for this day. But
Yes.
unfortunately, Corona came and you are not able to do what you had planned.
Yes.
So maybe unaweza malizia then, yeah.
Yeah. But because of Corona, at least it's time for us to reconnect with us, because you find people are in their homes and they can vow to either plant a tree, collect garbage, clean environment, and also to educate other people in their localities on the importance of sustainable environment. And also coronavirus has had a good impact because we have less of travels, that means less of emissions, and at least we can say the earth is breathing again.
Wow. So Corona did not affect you that much. And when during this pandemic time, have you not secured a place around your home where you can plant some trees as we wait for the lockdown to be over?
Okay, I think you've seen my post. I've been always in my farm in taking care of nature, and I'd like to thank Seedballs Kenya. They have really helped me. They sent me a donation of 1,000 plus seed balls, Acacia nilotica, because the place where I am, it's a semi-arid region, and even semi-arid regions need rehabilitation by growing drought-tolerant trees. And I've been growing them and taking care of the previous trees that I had planted long time ago by watering them, putting mulching so as to reduce the rate of evaporation, because rain is it's becoming unpredictable in the region, and also taking part in the farm.
Wow. I have my colleague here, Maureen. Maureen, are you there?
Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Maureen.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for taking your time to be with 18 and after. My question to you is, I'm a great follower of your social media platforms and your blog. There's a time I saw you had an interview with BBC and Al Jazeera, and I've also seen you work with Kenny TV. So what did this mean to you in regards to what you're doing for the environment?
Okay, I'll start with the recent one. It's from BBC Africa, and it was about what we miss, what Corona has made us, and what Corona is making us miss most. And it's all through the power of social media. Once you use your social media, no matter the many engagements or no matter the number of likes, I've realized there is a larger audience who usually sees and recognizes one's message. And in my message through BBC, it was, I miss walking to nature. I miss working with kids, because all along I've been working with kids, and because of lockdown, schools have closed. So I have no much interactions with them. And all those networking and connections are because of the use of social media, and more so through the Twitter, because it's through the Twitter whereby we are able to connect with people we share same interests, or people who are there to help and push the initiative forward. On Channel TV, I was
Then,
there. Hello?
sorry, carry on.
Okay, Channel TV, I was there, but currently I'm not there. It was part of internship because I have a background in communications. I was there. I was doing newspaper review, but majorly I used to bring in parts of agriculture and agriculture and environment during the shows. But currently my internship is over.
Okay. Then what should we expect from you in the near future, and what are your long-term goals for Patri initiative?
Okay, my long-term goals is work really hard and get support so that we can see that environmental education is introduced in our CBC. Because last week I saw through the Ministry of Education saying that the government has plans of introducing Chinese language as part of CBC. But my main goal is to see that we really push and that the government might see the sense of introducing environmental education in the system, because through environmental education we are fostering a generation of informed consumers, because you find maybe in a certain place there are what people think it's normal, what people we've been raised knowing this is normal, maybe cutting trees is normal, maybe throwing a paper is normal. But through environmental education we will try to bring nature close to the pupils, and they will grow appreciating and connecting with nature, and in the future you'll find they will value what other environmentalists have been doing, and it will expose children into problem solving at a tender age, and also either by bringing nature into classroom or taking children outside during activities. And also it will spark imaginations, and it will be a career path for some of pupils, because scientists are not made, it's through maybe seeing a certain phenomenon, and they will be triggered to want to learn more about what really happens, why is this doing this and not this. And through environmental education it will spark that innovation and imagination, and it will be a career path for most of children. And also it will help children appreciate agriculture and nature, because currently a lot of youth hate agriculture because they say it's a dirty game. And another goal is to ensure that Kenya attains 10% forest cover, because the rate at which our nature is degrading is at an alarming rate. We have a lot of deforestation in country. So by 5 years, it's my goal that we will have planted and grown as much trees as possible for the 10% coverage. And our final goal is to ensure, through working with different organizations and partnerships and raising our voice, that people will elect leaders who have goals for climate action, or rather leaders who do not only campaign, but they have the plans for climate action, and they have plans, what if we have climate crisis, what they will do. Because currently in Kenya, we rarely hear leaders from MCAs, from chiefs, campaign about environment. What they do is about politics and economics, and majorly they leave out their environmental action during their campaigns.
Thank you. Today being World Environment Day, what's that one message you like to pass across today?
For Environment Day, my message is clear. All our solutions are in nature, and failing to act now is failing humanity. And we should vow to protect, preserve, and take care of nature by vowing to do good and growing our trees, because trees are part of mitigation process of climate change.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, I'd like to invite anyone who has a question to Patricia. We can wind up after that. So anyone who has a question to Patricia can just grab the mic. You can just unmute and ask the question that you have. You can pick one or two questions to Patricia.
Maybe as they continue thinking,
Yes.
I would like to ask Patricia, who has been your role model now that every now and then you seem to be pushing about climate, environment. So who is that outstanding person who has been inspiring you all through?
Okay, my inspiration comes from the late Professor Wangari Maathai, and I will quote from the story of the hummingbird. The forest was burning, and there was that one bird which was fetching water and putting off the fire. And through that, it keeps me going by inspiring me, no matter the little action that I do, no matter that one tree, that 3 trees that I plant, the impact will eventually be seen.
Another question?
Hi, Maureen. Yes. Hi, Maureen.
Yes, Juliana.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are good.
Thanks for this. Sorry I joined late. At least I caught up the discussion going on.
Yes.
But this is really an awesome discussion for the day.
Yes.
And I would like to applaud Patricia for a beautiful work for the environment.
Thank you.
Maybe the only thing I can ask is, okay, I'm really looking towards a situation whereby we love to plant trees and possibly grow them to maturity. Because the biggest challenge is that many people grow trees. I mean, they plant trees, but growing them to maturity is a problem, especially in the arid and semi-arid areas. I have gone through that. I have an experience of that where you can plant like 100 trees, but only like 10 or 20% survive. So how do you bridge this gap? How have you managed to talk to people to do this? Because it seems to be the greatest demotivation in the arid and semi-arid areas.
Okay. Thank you, Juliana, for the question. For semi-arid regions, what I've been advocating and telling people is they should plant. First of all, they look the species of the trees that they
I'm lost in the discussion. Hello.
I think Patricia has
I think
some
we've
network
lost
issues.
Patricia.
water,
Unfortunately.
if the ants, we have animals which they'll come and cut the trees. So in rehabilitation of the semi-arid regions, plant when the rains have started and plant a manageable number which you can easily take good care of and you can water. And no matter what, we should keep on, pushing and pushing because it's a journey. If they dry up, next time you try and you try, and by the end, it is that one tree that makes a forest. So through that, the survival of 4 trees, again, 3 will survive. At the end, you will have your small forest in the place where you are.
All right, thank you. That's great. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Any other question? I think because of time, we can wind up from there. At least you guys.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
Yeah, I can say if we talk about environment, like we do not have only to talk about planting trees. Like if we have like pollution, like we have cars, we have like polythene bags and non-biodegradable stuff. So is the best way of taking care of environment only planting trees, or we should also look for something like pollution from cars and from some other stuff like companies or industries like sewer lines polluting rivers and such stuff? Like what is the main point we should focus when it comes to environment talk? Is it only planting trees?
Okay, planting trees is not the only solution that we are. The reason why we've measured on tree planting because is what I have been into. We have a lot of ways in which we can help the environment, but the reason why we have by raising our voices, by activism, so that we can reduce the emissions, collecting litter. But the reason why I chose to dwell on trees is because alone you can plant trees, but alone you cannot stop emissions. Alone you cannot tell people not to use matatus. Alone you cannot ban use of plastics. Alone you cannot, there are things you cannot do when you're alone. Those, they need government intervention, they need, policies, but alone you can plant a tree. Tree planting does not need any skills, does not need any academic qualifications. And that's why we have activism, is because it's through activism and it's through a lot of people coming together to push for a certain vice to be stopped, like ban of plastics is when the government ensures we have those policies. There are so many things we can do, but I chose to do what at my level ground I'm capable of doing without having to involve the government, because there are a lot of policies. Like, for example, we've banned use of plastic bags in Kenya, but if you go around, you will find a lot of them. So some things which are beyond me, we just use the power of social media and raise our voices. But to our ground, you act what you are able of acting.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Right.
So I think up to that level, we are fine. So if you allow me, I'll call it off, but I'll first thank you guys for turning on to this discussion. Thank you for allocating time to be with us today. Thank you for, you had other businesses you were doing, but you chose to be with us. So we are really appreciating. And we are going to organize such discussions more and more now that we have questions about environment. It's not all about planting trees. So maybe next time we'll add phase 2 of this discussion, where we'll now tackle many aspects of environment. So as we wait for that next moment, maybe today we'll just end it there. But this discussion will be copied in YouTube. We are going to edit and part of it being uploaded in YouTube, where everybody now can follow. Those who are on off can follow the whole discussion via YouTube.
Yes.
So thank you so much, guys. We can now call it off and we can now leave the meeting.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Patricia, and bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh,